Kyle James here, back with another Lightroom tutorial. Thanks for tuning in, it's great to have you here. Today we are talking about 3 ways that you can start editing like a pro in Lightroom. Probably find these tips most beneficial if you've just started using Lightroom, you've got a master of the basics and you're ready to step up your edit to the next level, add a little bit of depth, get a little bit more creative. So let's jump in and take a look. Alright, the first tool we're going to use here in Lightroom is the brush tool. So I've already edited the photo, as you can see, and it's how I would like it. So on top of this, I'm just going to brush a few parts of the photo to draw them out. So for this, I'm going to have to raise a little bit of exposure and highlights, take some shadows out, and just to make it pop slightly, a little bit of clarity. So once I go in and zoom in on the photo, because I'd really like to accentuate Jolene's hair here, just to pop the hair out. So just gradually brushing the hair in. That might be a little strong, so what I'm going to do is dial back the exposure just to bring it more in line with what I hope to achieve. There we go. And you'll notice I'm not actually going over every single hair, I'm just using little bits to pop out, right? So be selective. Be selective. Maybe a little over here. So my brush settings are pretty standard for this because it's quite a broad area we're highlighting on the hair. So you can see size is appropriate, feather is quite heavy because we don't really want to have harsh lines there. And that's pretty much all I would do to the hair. So if I look at before, after, definitely popped the hair out there, which is great. I'm going to make the brush a little smaller. And again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So make the brush very small, take a little bit of feathering off, and I'm going to dial back the settings even more because I like just a subtle highlight of Jolene's features here. You can see the light's hitting them naturally, so what we're going to do is just brush a little bit in, especially maybe in the eyes as well. It's always good to bring them up a little, but not so much that they look like crazy cat eyes. So bring the exposure down again there. And just in the bridge of the nose, maybe you can zoom in a little bit more. Top of the lip. There we go. So what you can see here maybe is that there's just a little bit more depth been added to the edit. So I'm not changing anything radically, I'm just accentuating the light that's already there. So if I take that back, we can see, oh yeah, that's cool. That's a big difference just with the brush. If you wanted to take it even further, there's obviously some light hitting the hat as well. So what we could do, maybe a little bit of a bigger brush, bring the feather up and just paint in a little bit more of that. Again, let's reset that brush, so I'll just dial the exposure back so we're not looking like a crazy difference. Maybe the label, just to make that pop out. This was a commercial shoot for this brand, Mara, so I would normally do this with the label just to bring it out a little bit. And then some more of the light up in the top of the hat here. Again, nothing drastic. That looks a little too much. So let's go in and grab that. Where is it? So I'm going to grab that one and I'll just draw back the exposure because it's a little overkill. Highlights, pull them back as well. And there's more natural. So as you can see, it's really, really easy. It's really easy to overdo this one. So super careful, super cautious, baby steps. And if you need a dramatic feel from it, then you can layer it. So if I've got the brush set here, all I would have to do is click new and then go over again the same part, and that would bring it up even more. For this second photo, there's a very obvious color here, red. Red is sticking out. So we're going to accentuate that by using selective coloring. And as you can see again, I've edited it as I would like it. The only thing left for me to do is slide down here to the HSL, hue, saturation, luminance. Our focus is on saturation this time. So red is the main color. I'm not going to touch that just now, but I am going to adjust the orange. And you can see there's some orange in that red. So I'm not going to take it down too much. Yellows, all the way down, almost greens. There's some green in the tree there that I'd really like to get rid of. Blue's gone, aqua's gone, purple, pulling it all out. We don't want to pull it out all the way so it looks like one of those cringy like one color photos. There's a magenta on that little dog there, you can see the dog statue, so I'm going to pull that down a little bit more. Red, we don't really need to pop it because it's already pretty popping. So if I reset, yeah, there we go, done, easy. A real simple way for you to pop out something in the photo, especially if it's like a yellow raincoat for all those travel photographers, or in this instance a red shrine in Japan, which caught my eye. Alright, finally we have Hamish the Highland Coo, or Highland Cow for anyone that's not Scottish. I've edited it as I would like it, cropped it, it's all good to go. And this final tip is just one that can pop out your photo or a particular part of your photo that maybe you want to draw attention to. So Hamish here, his face is in focus, his body you can see is nicely blurred out. So what I'm going to do is go up to this Radial Filter right here, click it, reset everything, and I'm going to draw one big enough for his head. That's pretty good there. The horns don't matter too much because all the detail here is in his hair. So for this, if we want any changes we make over here to take effect inside the circle, we have to go to invert. Otherwise, everything outside it will be adjusted. So for Hamish's head, we probably want to bump up the exposure a little bit just to bring some detail back. Contrast is probably not a lot. Highlights we like because there's lots of gold hair there. Definitely going to lift the shadows up. But again, you can see if you go too far, it just makes the photo look ridiculous. So subtle changes again, peeps. There we go. And of course, a little bit of clarity to make those strands distinct. And I think that is pretty much it. So before, after. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you found those tips useful and you're trying them yourself. If you haven't already, you can follow me on Instagram. My little handle's right here, check that out. If you did like the video, please drop me a like and consider subscribing. If that's something you want to do, it's up to yourselves. And I'll see you in the next video.